in the car with Kid yesterday, and I brought up the idea of time. Saturn, Chronos, time, the wheel of fortune, whatever. I didn't go that far. And somehow it got on to running, and how 65 minutes. Oh, he ran 15 minutes in a row in gym class. And I was like, 15 minutes in a row, that's more than I can run right now, unless I'm being chased. And I didn't say that. I'm trying to be a fine example. Even the one day I said, I'm a terrible example, he said, you are a fine example. And I said, I'm a good example of what not to be. But I don't share everything of what not to be. I'm only sharing things that will make your life better. I told him I said, the longest I'd ever run was 65 minutes. And he's like, oh, of her. And I said, 10 miles. And the thing is, when I did that 10-mile run, it was because I didn't smoke then. I was in the Army. We were in Saudi before going to Iraq, and there was time on your own. And, well, there was no beer, so what are you going to do? You go run. And I would go run, but I'd already been running. So, yeah, I ran basically 6.5 minute miles for 10 miles in a row. And on the last mile, I could see the mile ahead of me because I'm in the goddamn desert. My legs felt like tree trunks, and I was like, ah. And it turns out the only way I ever understood what an algorithm was because a scientist friend of mine once looked at the shit that I had fucking scrawled out trying to figure out how many minute miles I did the whole way along, being that the first one, not even being a goddamn 1 mile race, my first mile was a 5:05 when the guy said, 5 minutes, 5 seconds, as you go running by him. And I was pacing myself. So the last mile was like 8 minutes and some. It's all written down here somewhere, but that's the only reason I even know what a fucking algorithm is because he looked at it and he says, that's an algorithm. I said, oh, I hear that word all the time, but I've never looked it up. And I was never any good at algebra. Good at geometry, never good at chemistry. Good at biology. There are aspects of our mind which support different fucking reasoning. But then I got down. And I said, yeah. I said, I did run a sub 5. This is in the car. And I'm watching Devin Turpin's tarot readings right now, and he's bringing something up like this, and I'm like, it's time. It's speed. It's this. It's not even that. What he said reminded me of our conversation yesterday. I did a sub 5, and I realized, watching what I'm seeing today, it's not because I was out to do it. It was something, and I had to go in and tell the kid, I said, it's something you enjoy doing. You know, a sub 5, I realized, ask yourself, have you ever run 1 mile in less than 5 minutes? Do you know somebody that has? How many people? And you wouldn't have to ask them if they have, because assholes like that always tell people the thing all the time. Hi. That's still connected. I had never meant to bring it up. But the idea that before we ever even got over there, where I didn't have any drink, every time we had the opportunity to run on our own, to do our own PT in the morning, physical training, I would go run on my own just to let my legs move. Because my legs grew up with me in the Army. I never had legs like this. I grew up. The Army made a man out of me, physically and socially. And I know how to use it when I need to. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, I had no idea, sir. Cops believe you if you can just spout it out like you fucking respect them. And how to tie your boots. But what I realized that, and even after work, I would go running at times just to get my legs stretched, because doing the airborne shuffle down Ardennes, you're stuck in the middle of a crowd of people, and your legs, they just want to fucking move. I got a whole story about how I got a hold of the guidon once and had everybody yelling behind me, "Stop, slow down," because the guy with the guidon has the fucking pace. And they gave it to me, and I said, "You made a mistake." And I went bolting off. And they were falling behind and falling out. No kidding. Have you seen me? Look. That's 54. It's muscle memory. I remember how much I like to fuck with everybody, so I stay in shape without even trying. I should be quiet, because otherwise government's gonna show up and start doing experiments on me. Wolverine shit. I already heal. And I told the kid, I said, see, there was the one guy before we went over there that was back here. There was one guy that would beat me in ruck marching and running. And I didn't even know I was racing him. I was racing myself. Just, how much can I take? And you should pay attention to the things I say. Turns out he would win. He was the guy that won in these things. I was second in the whole fucking battalion, in the Bastard Brigade of the 82nd Airborne Division, 307th Engineer Battalion. Yeah, all that shit. Probably part of the 18th Airborne Corps, I don't know. I know we were affiliated down the street, but we might have fallen under their fucking reign. Fucking legs with wings. He would win. The super soldier. He was self-determined super soldier. He would work out all the time and run all the fucking time. And work out all the time, run all the time. Me, I'd just go out and run. I had no training program. I didn't care about anything. What do I have to worry about? And I didn't know it at the time, but I might as well say it. I was better than the others. I was a super soldier. They had my body, but they couldn't get my mind. But he'd beat me. And so I told the kid, I went back in and I told him, as I'm watching Devon Serpent, I see the point of why I talked to him about this on the way home yesterday. I said, you probably don't know too many people who have done a sub 5. And the point is, siete? Siete. Oh. digs his claws right into your fucking back. The point is, it's because there aren't many people doing what they enjoy on their own terms. I tell them, I say, you need to find something you enjoy. And you will find that if you master it, there are not going to be many people that do better than you at it. I probably should have kept training and went for the Olympics, but the way I see it, the more I win, if I were to become an Olympian, I would have to be bred to the finest stock all over the world consistently, like Conan, and overpopulation's the biggest problem we have right now. Be good at what you do, and you might be better than others.